So again, this doesn't matter because I can edit. Welcome to the DO Boxing Show. I'm your host, Dameon Okposio. Thanks for tuning into another episode. And yes, we have a panel today. On the corner, we got up-and-coming amateur boxer, Pena.
What's up, what's up?
And in the middle, we have a nutritionist, former amateur boxer, former bikini model. She is a nutritionist and a personal trainer, Mercedes K. Gold. And she's been featured numerous times in Below the Belt Boxing Magazine as a writer and giving great nutrition advice. And so that's what we're about in this episode today. We're going to be talking about hydration and water. And remember, if you have any questions that you're thinking about while we're talking, send it to us. So just going on about nutrition and water, we'll start maybe with water. You mentioned in issue number 31 how important water was for fighters.
Water is huge for fighters. I mean, water is essentially what we're made of. So we need water to lubricate our joints. We need water to flush out the toxins, especially when you're overtraining and you're finding that your body's getting sore. You need to break down your lactic acid. You need to flush it out. All the bad things you might do on the days you're not training, if you're having those cheat days and you're maybe having a little alcohol, whatever you're doing wrong, it needs to get out of your body. So water acts to, flush that out too. Also, you need it for energy.
So with drinking a lot of water, is there things that people can add to their water to maybe like help them with the drinking of the water?
The taste? I mean, a lot of people complain about the taste of water, that it's boring. They don't want to drink it. So, I mean, an easy way to do is squeeze lemon into it, which you're also going to get some vitamin C, which helps with stress and your glands, your adrenal glands in your body. So that's one thing. You can throw some chopped up mint in your water. But there's also, once you're really trying to recover your body, and your nutritionist, such as me, would tell you that you might want to start using a greens product. You like the powders. And you can add that as a flavor to your water too.
Okay, yeah.
To give it...
just a little bit of flavor if it's boring. I mean, I'm totally not going to recommend, there's certain powders on the market that are just flavor enhancers, and they're not all that beneficial because they have food dyes in them, they're chemical based. So you don't want to do that, but you want to add something natural to your water.
And what about if people are downing like lots of energy drink, not energy drinks. I'm not going to say energy drinks because I know you're not talking about that, but I'm talking about...
No, some fighters see energy drinks as replenishment. Some will in the middle of training. If you know you have to spar or whatever and you want to kick, they'll, well, instead of water, I'll kick back the energy drink. But actually all you're doing is giving yourself a jolt of caffeine, some chemicals, some high sugar, right? But it isn't a source of hydration, the energy drink. So it actually is a smart thing to say. And I wouldn't recommend them. And commercial sports drinks, where it's the bright colored ones and the cool, squeeze bottles, they're not ideal either. They have electrolytes in them, which are amazing to replenish the body. But just taking orange juice and adding a little bit of sea salt to it, you can pull off the same thing naturally without doing a commercial one.
Oh, okay.
Which is a lot healthier and less less money.
So with water... how often should people be drinking water? And if they're training, so like when I was coming up, a lot of times they'd be like, oh, don't drink so much water in between rounds because you might get cramps.
People can tend to get cramps because they're low in potassium, which is an electrolyte again. But potassium, if you're on good nutrition and you're having your baked potatoes, you're having your bananas, you're getting that potassium. So cramping sometimes can be just from the lack of potassium. So your levels of salt, everything's not, working right in your body. So what you could do is something like a coconut water, which is all the rage, right? So you're going to replenish electrolytes there, but you want to make sure that you're drinking one without sugar.
That's right.
So are you going to have the coconut water
You could have a sip in between rounds.
Okay.
You obviously, if you know you're going to the gym for 2 hours, you want to start drinking water on the way to the gym. You want to have your body not dehydrated going in. But the easiest thing a boxer can do is weigh yourself when you get to the gym and weigh yourself when you leave the gym. Because sometimes you train so hard or the gym's not air conditioned that you can actually lose, 3-4 pounds of water. That's a lot of water. Yeah. You have to replenish it.
Okay. And sometimes the way I train, maybe I train, for a hard, I run if I'm special, I'm running like 5 miles, and then go do the non-stop training, which, I feel okay and everything. I'm not getting cramps or anything else, but I'm drinking, like the sugars in the morning to keep me woke, and I didn't. It's drinking water or anything else, so I feel a lot better now that I am drinking some water. Taking the energy drinks and replacing it and everything, you do have a crash, a little bit afterwards and everything else. So.
Well, when I met Andre, he was saying he ran on an empty stomach, which means not having food. But he was like, "Oh, I have pop when I wake up." I'm like, "What?" So he was actually going out and running down the street, empty stomach, but on the pop. So there's so much sugar. When you started to realize how much sugar, when you told me how many pops he was drinking a day, and we're adding that up at like 200 grams of sugar a day, it's crazy, like crazy. So you're going to reach this big high and then crash. So he's eliminated his sugar now. You don't realize how much he's having.
If you want to even out, so if you do want that, if you do want to be energized when you get up, what's the best way to accomplish that? And because, some people can cut it out, but they'll want something maybe to replace that feeling.
Oh man, yes.
When you first, when you first wake up in the morning, I mean, the amount of sugar that Andre was drinking, I told him, you might have a headache for a day or two. Like, honestly, you could go through withdrawal. That's how much sugar he was ingesting. So I said, he's like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be hardcore. I don't care. Today's a new day. I'm ready. I'm in there. But for most people, I would say you might want to scale it back just because you can get that crash. But now he could get up in the morning and, pure water if he can do it. Otherwise, green tea, really strong green tea. And green tea is an antioxidant, so it's going to help you too.
And it's good, the green tea will give you that.
It has some natural caffeine. It has the energizing in it, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that would be
green
a good
tea.
idea.
I'm going to try that.
Or coconut water, because you're going to drop all your levels of electrolytes as you're running. So you could have a bit before you go. Some people like to run completely empty, like no water, no food, like nothing.
Yeah,
everyone's different.
Sometimes I get cramps, and sometimes I lose up to 5 to 7 pounds. The way
That's
I
crazy.
train, sometimes the way I train, because I'll push it. I'll try to run like 5 miles, maybe 35 minutes. Some crazy stuff I know I can't do on an empty stomach, or I don't have like these little snack bars are good because you don't want to eat too much. You don't want to feel too full, like you were saying. Like in a fight, you don't want to drink too much water, you get a cramp. Well, it's the same thing.
But you can train your body to use it too, right?
Oh,
you don't want to train your body to be dehydrated all the time.
Yeah,
and you don't want to go home from the gym at 9 o'clock at night because you worked all day and you're going to bed at 11 and now have to drink like 4 liters of water to get your water back because you're going to be up all night going to the bathroom.
So, so to make it really practical for the fighters that are watching or the people that are training that are watching, the best thing would be, if you're going to be going to the gym, you
start drinking like half a cup, maybe like every half an hour.
Okay.
And you should be drinking all day, not just when you're thirsty. If you're thirsty, you're dehydrated.
Okay.
So that's like the bottom line. So if you're like, oh, I need something to drink, that means you're already dehydrated. You should never feel thirsty.
So
all
basically,
day sipping, you're gonna
have a water bottle in your mouth all the time.
And watch how, if you're too thirsty all the time, it's because you might eat too much salt.
Oh, okay.
So you can adjust how much salt you're eating.
Okay. Okay, so that's great advice. We hope that it was informational for you guys. Remember, you can ask us any questions related to boxing by sending us a message through Twitter at DOKPOSIO or through email, Okposio@hotmail.com. Don't forget, you can also subscribe through YouTube to get every episode of the DO Boxing Show. Thanks for tuning into this episode, and we'll catch you in the next one.